This is the 2021 Kia Telluride. It's been out for a year now. It's got some subtle changes for this year that we'll go over, and I believe it is still probably the best three-row vehicle under $50,000, alongside the Hyundai Palisade. Kia seriously checks almost all the boxes for this three-row class. We're going to take a look at everything on the outside, the inside, and we're going to take it for a test drive. Let's get started. Now this particular model is the top trim level SX with the Prestige package. I have another video that's really long, really detailed, where I go over the different trim levels and what you get with each of those, so be sure to look in the description below. I also have a night video and a driver assist demonstration video of the Telluride, so you can see how all that stuff works. Be sure to check that out below. Now starting out on the exterior details, Kia went pretty bold. This is a different and unique looking SUV, and I like it. Kia's got their classic tiger nose grille right here that is pretty large with Telluride written across the front of the vehicle, and Telluride comes from, it's being named after, the town in Colorado. And this top trim, of course, is going to give us full LED front headlights, the high and the low beams. Even that amber area around the blinker is a daytime running light, so that's going to be on all the time, and it acts as the blinker. One big change for Kia for 2021 is that the EX model can now get optional LED headlights. It used to be halogen on everything except the top trim. The other thing is that there's now a nightfall edition. So there's a nightfall package that pretty much blacks everything out on the Telluride to give it a more sinister look, and it looks pretty sweet if you ask me. Then down here there's also LED fog lights and an accent trim piece below as well. Now coming to the side, there's actually an air curtain that comes from the front so air can pass through for aerodynamics. Probably a little bit more design choice than anything, but this top trim level gives us these 20-inch black wheels. Now those 20-inch black wheels come with this optional paint color, which is called Snow White Pearl, that has a really nice metallic-y flake in it, and overall I think it looks great on the Telluride. One thing about the Telluride is that the mirrors are power folding, and as you approach the vehicle, the mirrors will actually unfold. Both this mirror and the passenger mirror can automatically tilt downward when you go into reverse, which can help you in parking situations. They also have turn signals. They're heated. The only thing is that they're not automatically dimming, which you don't always see in a non-luxury model, but body color door handles with some little trim on those, just like this trim around the windows. And dimensionally, the Telluride is actually kind of mid-pack as far as its dimensions. It's 197 inches long with 8 inches of ground clearance, so it's a little bit bigger than a couple three-row vehicles, but smaller than some other three-row vehicles as well. And looking at the back, you'll have these tall LED combination taillights on this trim and the EX trim level, with an LED mounted light above the top, plus the twin exhaust tips down below. Now under the hood, in my last Telluride video, some people seemed to think that a V8 or a turbocharged V6 should belong in here, like bigger SUVs, but that's not the case. Just like other vehicles in this class, it's exactly average and on par with the V6 right here. So right here, Kia gives you one option across all trim levels. It's a 3.8 liter direct injected V6 that's going to give you 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. The Telluride comes standard with front-wheel drive, but you can get all-wheel drive optional, which is what we have. And miles per gallon with the all-wheel drive model is going to be 19 in the city, 24 on the highway, and 21 combined. The front-wheel drive model can get up to 26 on the highway. Compared to other vehicles in the class this size with about this much power and torque, this is behind many of those in terms of efficiency. Now I have not yet done my highway MPG test, but I will put that on the screen right here so you can see if it's better or worse than the actual numbers say. Now I'm under the hood of the Hyundai Palisade right now. I wanted to wait until I did my MPG test with the Palisade to see how it compared with the Telluride, because it's the same vehicle basically. And I got almost 27 with the Palisade and just over 27 with the Telluride miles per gallon. That's impressive and way better than I was expecting. And towing 5,000 pounds with this model, and we even have the optional towing package in the back, and you even get a rear suspension that automatically levels itself out. So if you've got a heavy load and it's sagging that back end down, it's going to level itself back out. And one more thing with this powertrain, Kia gives you a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the powertrain components. Now Kia has this feature called the Smart Liftgate. You don't have to swipe your foot or anything. If you just stand back here, With the key fob, for a few seconds, it'll beep as you saw, and then the lift gate will go up. You can turn that feature on or off with your center display behind the steering wheel. You can even adjust if this is a fast or normal speed opening lift gate. Now that we're in this cargo area, let me show you what we've got. So first of all, behind the third row, this space really is not bad at all. This is more than enough for most people. Underneath of here, you get a separate little storage area, which is awesome. And there is actually a spare tire standard underneath of this loading floor. There are a handful of these little hooks back here, or tie downs I should say. There's also a hook right here, which would be a good grocery bag hook. You have the same thing on the other side, and check that out. You have a 12-volt power outlet, and you can fold down the second row, left or right seat. Now to fold the third row down, there's a little lever, or a little rope, and the headrest will automatically fold, which is nice. You don't have to mess with that. But that seat actually sinks down a little bit, so you've got some really good space overall and some great height for this cargo area. And then if we push these buttons to fold the second or the third row down, or the second row down, I mean, check that out. Those armrests kind of get in the way. So if you have those armrests there, they'll get in the way. And I had that right seat all the way forward, so the headrest got in the way. But with those folded down, you've still got really, really good space overall back here. Now here is one change from Kia for 2021. You get the same key fob right here with all these buttons here. It's a pretty slim key fob, fits into your pocket well, but now we actually have remote start. You did not have remote start on the key fob last year. Lock, hold, starts right up. And one cool feature is that at night you actually get approach lighting, and even the door handle will illuminate like you see on some luxury vehicles. And you can see that the mirror is folded right now, and as I approach the vehicle, it automatically unfolds. Now I'd love to know your feedback on this. Kia's smart key system is not the sensor behind the door, it's a button, so you push the button to lock it or unlock it. Getting into the Telluride is a breeze because it's a nice, easy height inside, and when you turn the vehicle on, you can have the seat automatically move for you. You can turn that off or on with your display in front. And this SX trim level gives us 12-way power adjustable seats, including 2-way lumbar support and even thigh extension cushions. And this Napa leather treatment that we get with the Prestige package is very nice because these seats are heated and ventilated with memory settings. Overall cushioning on these seats is excellent. I've been comfortable. There's moderate amount of bolstering. The headrest is not intrusive. They're just comfortable seats in general. I have no doubt that most of you will enjoy sitting in these seats. Now these are the highest end trim level seats with the most adjustment and Napa leather. I can't speak on the other trim levels. And on this top trim, the passenger seat is 8-way power adjustable with height adjustment. It just doesn't have adjustable lumbar support, which would be nice to see. The steering wheel is leather wrapped, and it is also heated on this trim level. It's manual, tilt, and telescoping with a really generous range of motion. And I'm 5'9", height and space in here is great. The center console is kind of big to where it might bug your knee a little bit, but overall, very spacious and comfortable. With our remote start system, we have push button start right there. And Kia's interior is very nice. It's got the tablet style screen, which many do now, but there are some nice materials, and it's just a very nice functional layout as well. You can see that wood-like trim running across the dash looks nice. There's nice material right here. Even some stitching up on the dash is even nice. It doesn't even matter, but they did it anyways. And over on the doors, just a lot of niceness in this vehicle that people probably wouldn't expect. Now starting on the door, I'm not going to be quite as detailed as my other video of the Telluride, but softer material up above, the same trim here. This is even a nicer, softer material, and then a padded armrest with a really large grab handle, or even a good spot to maybe store keys or phone or whatever. All 4 of those windows are automatic one touch, which is nice to see. Memory settings on the door. Then the bottle holder is really small. My bottle doesn't fit down here without being wedged in there, but there's a good storage bin down here. The steering wheel is very comfortable to hold on to. It's got some grips up here. It's a little bit of a gummy leather feel, but it is still quite nice. The buttons work well. You've got a 4-spoke design, very easy to use, and a nice layout. You also see rain sensing windshield wipers, which are always nice to see. And then right in front of us, we've got a couple big physical gauges with the inner gauges inside of there, like temperature and fuel. And then right in front of us, we've got kind of a trip computer type gauge here with drive modes, speed, and then you can scroll through navigation. You can see where the power is going to your wheels, tire pressure, your lane keeping system, and all the different settings that you can customize in here. Kia also gives you a head-up display that you can turn off and on, and it gives you a ton of different information. Now sitting atop the dash is a 10.25 inch screen, and this is technically the home screen. It is nice having it kind of across like this. I prefer that versus the vertical design in the Explorer. It works well. There's a lot that you can do on here. You can customize this, like your home, the widgets, and what icons are on there. There are shortcuts right down here, like the map, navigation, radio, etc. So you do have some physical buttons. And setup gives you a ton of different things that you can go through, which is quite nice. The screen maybe isn't the fanciest looking or the fanciest operating, but it is large, and there's a lot of features like Sirius XM. We have the optional, well, not optional on this trim, but the standard on this trim, Harman Kardon audio system that sounds quite good at 10 speakers and 630 watts. It also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in addition to that, and I have a night review going through all the different ambient light colors that you can get in here if you want to check that out. There's actually 60 plus different ambient light colors called mood lighting, which looks really nice on this trim. Just below the audio controls, you'll find the volume knob, tuning knob, and then the heated steering wheel button, and then your climate controls, which are easy to use. You have dual zone climate control. These feel a little bit plasticky and cheap, but they don't really wiggle and wobble like some vehicles might. So not the fanciest and nicest materials, but for this class, it works just fine. Then below that, you have this little lid that lifts up. I leave it up all the time, and you've got a 12-volt power outlet, a USB, another USB over there, and a wireless charging mat down here. Next to that, you'll find the controls for your heated or ventilated seats, and the ventilated seats actually do a really nice job. And then this is kind of cool. It is stitched, and it's technically, it got like handles on it, which is interesting. It's just a unique design, but it works good for the center console in my opinion. Now when you put it in reverse, you get this 360 camera with different views, which is quite nice. You can change the settings of this as well. Get out of there, but you can see a top-down view over there or whichever view you want to see up here. In addition to that, when you signal and turn your blinker on, look at that. You have a camera on the side of the vehicle. So it's kind of a safety net because you can obviously look over your shoulder. You've got the blind spot indicators in the mirror. And then when you start to signal, that's kind of your third safety net. Now the Telluride also has a feature called driver talk. I have it customized to where I push this star button. You can make the star button do a number of different things, but I push that and then driver talk shows up. And when you talk, the front microphone will pick up your voice and actually play it through the rear speakers to talk to kids in the back or guests or whatever. This is where things are a lot different than the Palisade. You can see we have kind of a traditional shifter and cup holder layout. Right here you actually have your drive modes, Comfort, Sport, Smart, which actually cycles through different modes on your own. We'll go through some of the drive modes in the test drive. The differential lock, if you get stuck or if you're in some slippery situations, you could push that to have equal power between all four wheels. Back here, the auto stop start button, brake hold, parking brake. You can have this for your 360 camera on or off, and same with parking sensors front and back. I like everything here. There's a little storage cubby right there. The cup holders work well for all different sizes of bottles. No problems with that. I just am not a huge fan of the shiny piano black plastic around here, which is very easy to get scratched and collects lint and fingerprints. The center armrest is nice and soft. It does not slide forward and backwards, and it honestly sits a little bit low. I wish this was a little bit higher, but you can lift it up and you have a big storage bin and a little storage cubby right there. There's no light in here though. And there's a little another USB port inside of here. Kia also gives you a locking glove box, and then we have a traditional automatic dimming rearview mirror. I'm honestly glad to see that it's not a frameless mirror. Even though those look nice, the edges always have areas that are not dimmable. Kia also gives you a sunglass holder. Now I wish this could be a conversation mirror to where it could pop open part way and be a little conversation mirror for the back. But you've got LED lights up above. We have, first of all, check this out, a premium headliner. Everywhere you look back here and on the pillars, it is nice and soft, even on the driver's and passenger side. We can open this up. We have our own personal moonroof here, but you also have one in the back that you can control from here. That glass doesn't slide open, but that cover does, so you have that big, large opening. And then let's take a look at visibility. These pillars are not too big, but the second pillar is pretty big. Then looking out the back, you do have that third window. You could fold the seats down, and a pretty good sized window out the back. But what do you think? Not terrible for an SUV. Now taking a look at the second row, there's a few really nice things here. So first of all, this material up here is the same as it is up front, same trim. So Kia did not cheap out in the back. And check it out, you even get the little sunshade like that on each side. So that is really nice for your backseat passengers, just built right in. Now the bummer is that this top trim level only gets captain's chairs. Now these are nice captain's chairs and a lot of people will probably like that, but it would be nice if they at least gave us an option for a bench seat on this trim level. There's even a grab handle for your passengers to get in, and we still get the same nice, super soft headliner up here. We've got AC vents right above here, which I like because they can blow into car seats or blow directly on people instead of the ones that are usually mounted back here. But you also get cup holders back here, just like you see in trucks most of the time. And look at this, even a USB port on each side of the seat. So that is really cool. Kia was really thoughtful with what they did. We also have a 3-prong outlet and a 12-volt power outlet down there. So great job, Kia. There's a lot of legroom too. Kia's done a great job of making this family friendly. Knee space sitting behind myself, the foot space. This seat can scoot forward, and with that all the way up, I still have room for my niece. And I can sit here without my head really being even close, and we've got this panoramic roof, or this double pane roof, which is just awesome. And in addition to that, these seats recline way back. This is just so comfortable in a second row. Both sides also get these folding ratcheting armrests, so you can make them stop in different areas or just get them out of the way. And your climate controls are up here, so you can have automatic climate back here and temperature control. You can control if it's down at your feet or at your head, and you've got LED lighting in the back seat as well. And one more little nugget, guess what? You get heated and ventilated seats in the second row. That's just unheard of in this class. I was in about a $90,000 Lincoln Navigator that didn't even have ventilated second row seats. So heated and ventilated on both sides. Okay, now let's hop into the third row. First of all, see that little button right there? You can push that button, or you can push this one up here, and the seat will just kind of slightly kick out of the way. And then it's really easy to push to give yourself more space to get in if you don't want to climb around. Okay, now third row legroom. I can't really sit here comfortably with that seat all the way back, but I moved that one to where it was all the way forward, which I was able to sit in and still have room for my legs up in the second row. And look how much more space there is right there. Before I move over there, you've got lights back here, you've got air vents on each side. You can still get a glimpse of this second pane roof. And check it out, right down here, you've got your own USB port right there. Plus you've got cup holders on each side. Now check it out, sitting behind that seat further forward, there's a lot more knee space and foot space. And of course you can have it in the middle. And this back here is technically a 3-passenger third row, which would be kind of tight, but for kids it'd probably be okay. These seats can actually recline, as you can see right there. And if I don't recline the seat, I can sit here without my head pushing up because there's actually a little spot. But if I do recline, my head starts to push against that. So something to keep in mind, but still excellent space for the third row in this class. Okay everyone, we are just getting going in this Kia Telluride. Now the first thing I want to say right off the bat is that the head-up display is nice. It has a lot of information, but it's a little off-centered and it's pretty low compared to, I guess, the general industry standard. And I'm actually going to turn it off because it will flicker with my GoPro. There goes another Telluride. So I've been driving the Telluride for about a week now, and I drove it for a week last year, pretty soon after it came out, and I gotta tell you, I am impressed in many aspects with it and with the Hyundai Palisade. So first of all, with these 3-row SUVs, the main objective obviously is comfort and practicality and general confidence in driving a bigger vehicle like this. And I think they've accomplished all of that. This is a great balance of ride, comfort. The handling is okay. That's probably where it lacks the most, is in terms of a little bit of body lean, some squat, and some dive. It's a softer vehicle. I won't say it's the best in any one particular category. I'm going to put it in comfort mode, which is just like the normal basic mode. Pedal down. And one thing that I've noticed with the Telluride is the powertrain is smooth and refined. The 8-speed automatic transmission operates about as you would want it to be. With so many of today's new modern transmissions, they are learning transmissions, meaning they kind of adapt to your driving style, and they can be clunky and jittery and have a lot of gears and just not be all that smooth. But it's been good in this Palisade. For example, a couple of the most recent 3-rows that I've tested are the Ford Explorer, which is redesigned and has a 10-speed transmission, and the Toyota Highlander, which is also redesigned and has an 8-speed transmission, and both of those were inconsistently jerky at times, more frequently than this Kia Telluride. Now, the handling feel on here, there's a little bit of play in the steering wheel, as you'd expect. It's probably a medium in terms of, you know, the weight that you got to put into it. So this isn't a laborious vehicle to drive. It's not hard to park and turn the wheel, and it does have a good sense of stability at higher speeds going around corners. But like I said right away, there is some more body lean in here than there is in some other 3-rows, but still nothing to complain about that's really that bad. On a day-to-day driving aspect, I like the location of the screen, all of the climate control buttons, the display right here, and when you put the blinker on, I'm not going to actually signal, but that camera will show up no matter what speed you're going, and you can still even see a little bit in the dark at night. So there's really nothing that's all that distracting in here in terms of the placement. It's comfortable, the armrests are comfortable, the steering wheel is comfortable, good visibility and sight lines for the most part in here. And we have gone over a few little rougher pieces of pavement, nothing bad, and the Telluride ride comfort is good. I don't know if I'll say best in class, but it is good, and I think a lot of you will be really happy with it, especially when you hit some bigger bumps. Even though we have the SX trim level, which has bigger wheels, which usually leads to a rougher ride, it's still good in this trim level. I just put the Telluride in sport mode, and when you're in normal mode, smart mode, or comfort mode, the throttle can be a little laggy. I complained about this in my first review, but let's go ahead and get pedal down. Sport mode is definitely more responsive, and go. And it holds those RPMs a little longer. See, it's holding RPMs right now. This is not a sporty vehicle by any means, but when you start to hustle it and go around some corners, you're gonna lose a little bit of confidence with it. But in most scenarios, like for example, right now, I'm gonna go past somebody, it downshifts quickly, and you get decent power out of here. Now, compared to some of the rivals, I'm gonna put it back in comfort mode, but compared to some of the rivals that have turbos, when you put the pedal down even a little bit, you're gonna get a quicker power that comes out, but you're not gonna get quite as much pull as you get with this Telluride. This has a big engine compared to many of its competitors at a 3.8 liter, but it doesn't have more power than them. It's about class average, and it is a bigger vehicle, so when you have a bunch of people in here, I kind of wonder how it'll do. But I'm going to kind of get close to this vehicle in front of me. I'm going to start the cruise, and the lane keeping system button is over here, and I'm going to make it the furthest distance possible. And check this out, the Kia lane keeping system works very well. The adaptive cruise works very well. Just watch it kind of just go around this slight little turn. And I have a full demonstration video of this on the Kia Telluride and on other vehicles if you want to see how those do, but it does really, really well. If you're in stop and go traffic especially, and if you trust and actually use these systems in there, it's amongst the smoothest that I've tested so far. Now, as I get on the brakes here, you feel like this is a bigger vehicle. I mean, you can feel that it's a bigger vehicle with its brakes, but the brakes, I haven't had any troubles at all. And we're about to get on a rougher textured road where I like to do my noise ratings. I do it on the interstate at a higher speed and on a rougher surfaced highway road at a lower speed. And this has done well on both. As far as noise is concerned, you have laminated glass here. So it's the double pane glass. So is the windshield. And that helps with wind noise. And as we get going on this rougher textured road, there is some road noise that gets in here, but it is not bad at all. It's really nothing, it's honestly good for the class. I mean, it is actually easy to carry on a conversation in here, which I think is important, especially if you have family, you got kids with you. It's a quiet ride. So when you look at other, especially less expensive two-row vehicles, you definitely get more road noise in those compared to this. This has certainly met my standards as having a nice, quiet ride, along with the good ride comfort, a supple ride. So I think a lot of you will be very pleased and be happy with how this Telluride drives. So after going through all of that, checking everything out, the features, the details, and the test drive, under $50,000, is this the best three-row that you can get? Leave your comments down below. I believe all around, checking all the boxes, this and the Hyundai Palisade offer the most for your money. Obviously, it's only been around for a year, so time will tell how reliability is and what ownership is like. But if you own one, I'd love to hear from you, so please leave your comments below. I definitely like the slight changes Kia made, like offering LED headlights on the EX trim level and remote start as well, so that is nice. That's going to wrap things up on this 2021 Kia Telluride. I've enjoyed my time with it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review and have a great rest of your day.